Obviously, you guys were in it right down to the end, but maybe at that last 4 or 5 minutes, what you feel like was the difference?
Yeah, I want to start by saying congrats to the Timberwolves. Coach Finch did a great job in this series, and their whole team created a lot of problems for us. The role players, their stars. Anthony Edwards is, just a special talent, and their bigs played really well this series. And the role players, like I said, with McDaniels and Alexander Walker in particular, and Conley hurt us. With the way those guys pressured, it's a hell of a team they got. And, tip your cap to them. Congrats to them. In terms of tonight's game, we try to look at something different. There's a proven formula to try to get Rudy Gobert either exposed or off the floor in terms of playing small. It's something that I'm not really a big fan of, playing too many minutes small, but against this opponent, I felt like it was something that might open up the floor for us offensively. And it did do that. I wanted to generate more threes. It didn't generate more threes, but we were able to get to the paint a lot more than we have throughout this series because Rudy in front of the rim is a problem. And we created more free throw attempts. Obviously Book had a big night. With the added space of trying to play smaller, but ultimately it wasn't enough. And they made timely big shots and timely, I say, loose ball plays. Every time there's, we're trying to, get some traction or make a run. It seemed like they hit a big three or they'd get a loose ball that kept the possession alive for them. So, like I said, credit them. They played a hell of a series.
How do you digest a season where you came in with championship expectations and then it ended in a sweep in the first round?
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, there's no other way to put it. There's no worse professional feeling in the world than getting swept in the NBA playoffs. I've never been a part of it. I feel pretty low right now. I want to speak to our fans directly and say, I share your passion. I'm as disappointed as y'all are. Okay, I share that with you all. But we got beat by a better team this year, and we put this team together with the mindset that we have a 3 to 5 year window. That every year we're going to have a chance to. We have a team that has the firepower to compete for it. But this league is loaded with firepower. We got a talented group. So do the Timberwolves. So do every team in the top 10 teams in the Western Conference. They are loaded with talent as well. So we got to evaluate and figure out ways we can get better, and just process this tough series loss.
In your mind, it was a roller coaster year with injuries and roster change-ups and all of that. In your mind, what kind of prevented you guys from getting to your peak?
You spoke to a little bit of it. I think we gelled and played some really good basketball down the stretch. Getting the playoff spot in this, bloodbath of a Western Conference was a positive. In light of the injuries and roster experimentation early in the season when we're looking at which minimum guys fit for our group. But ultimately, we played some really good basketball down the stretch. We just ran into a team that is playing better than us right now.
When you look at Brad Beal, he had a rough night, foul trouble, shooting-wise. What went into that, do you think?
Yeah, I think anytime you get in foul trouble, it just disrupts your whole rhythm of your game. The guy was out there competing his tail off, playing super hard. Missed some looks he normally makes. But he's got a guard. We're asking him to guard Anthony Edwards, and play the point guard against full court pressure, which we didn't do a good enough job alleviating that for him. That's on me and our staff for, just making sure we handle their pressure better because their pressure disrupted us the whole series and probably took its toll on Brad. But, he competed his tail off.
Hey, Frank, Book gave a whole shopping list of details that he says need to be worked on and need to be a lot better for next year. But one of them was communications. He said that communications from the top down, and he cited himself, you, Bradley, and Durant, has to be a lot better. What's he talking about, and what needs to be done to make it a lot better?
Yeah, I just think in game we got to talk to each other more, and we be willing to listen. I think on the floor our guys got to talk more, and I think we did a good job communicating what was happening with our team throughout the course of the year. But that's just one of those things that can always be better.
Frank, sticking on Devin, I guess on a positive side, did you see any strides that he took this year individually that can kind of carry over to next year for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players in the world. I mean, these guys got that killer instinct that I've not really seen, or been a part of. He's special, and I think he took some strides with, being aggressive, shooting the threes and shooting threes off the bounce. How he competed on the defensive side of the ball and took on a lot of challenges and tries to raise his level that way as well.
Coach, a couple of things. One of the things this season, it seemed like there was a lot of inconsistency when you guys played. Was that the case? And also, was that one of the main factors that you didn't go as far as you had liked? And what are some of the other ones that maybe, I know you touched on it briefly before, but
what was the last part of the question?
What are some of the things that could have been better this season that would have helped you go further?
Yeah, I mean, the list is long. When you lose, you always want to evaluate everything. I'd say, personally, no one's harder on me than me. So I mean, I always look inward for ways that I could have done things differently or pulled different strings with our group. I'll make sure that I evaluate myself that way. I always do. But we turned the ball over too much. We didn't ultimately become good enough from a rebounding standpoint, and I think we didn't really find our rhythm in terms of being consistent, with our offensive flow. So there's some things that that I think that we can look at and find ways to be better.
Devin, when you look at now the series being over, how would you assess why it led to a sweep?
I would say the details. I've been on a pretty successful team. KD's won a ring. Coach Fizdale's been a part of the Miami Heat. Coach Vogel won one with the Lakers, and I think everybody would say, these are the time that the details matter, and it's something that, we kind of passed by and, didn't think was a big deal, but came back and bit us in the ass.
Is that we feel like happened maybe in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the fourth quarter where there were some turnovers, some breakdowns there? Is that where it really showed up, you think, in the game tonight in particular?
Well, you just switched it up on me. I was going generally the whole entire series, but, I would have to watch it back to, kind of pinpoint it. But, yeah, they were executing late and we didn't.
What unlocked you tonight?
We played a lot of small ball, so just try to space Rudy out, keep him out of the paint. It's been successful. Some teams have played him off the court before, and, we're kind of in desperation mode, so that's what we went to.
The only other thing I had was you've been someone that's obviously once you got to the finals, that's all you wanted to do was get back to the finals and compete for a championship. So how has these years since been frustrating where you go through a season and not get back to that place you want to get back to?
Well, I want to win it. I don't want to get back. And, it's a tough league. At the end of all this, there's going to be one winner. And everybody that doesn't win is going to go into somewhat of a panic mode and feel like they have to make changes and do this and do that. But, I think over time, experience is, the best teacher. So, the more that you can spend time together and, feel this hurt together and go through it together, the better off you are in the future.
Book, I know this is a hard question to answer after the season just ended, but when you look at your guys' year as a whole with all the injuries and the ups and downs that you had, why do you feel like it just wasn't ultimately able to come together?
The details.
And when you look at this series, I'm sure you're going to say details, but when you look at the fight that you guys showed tonight compared to the first 3 games, did it feel like anything changed in this one in that regard?
I think pride was on the line, but, everybody's response is that it should have been from the start, and, I completely agree.
Book, what are the details you're talking about?
It's, I don't want to have an X and O conversation with you right now, but, defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding, the most extra possessions you can get, spacing on the floor, you name it, free throw box out, I think the teams that get the most possessions and extra possessions, and I'm thinking back to the finals year, that's what Milwaukee did to us too. They miss a shot and, crash 4 or 5 people and, turn it into, a war in the paint. So, there's a lot of details to the game that go into it. But I've always been saying it all year, communication trumps all. So, and we weren't good with that this year.
So obviously, all of this has to be addressed going into next year.
Has to be what?
Addressed going into next year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, hopefully everybody's feeling the same type of hurt. And, it has to be fixed. I have to be better. Kevin has to be better. Brad has to be better. Coach has to be better. If we're the leaders of the team, we can't be out there unprepared.
Book, when you look at the partnership with you and Kevin this year, how did that grow and how optimistic are you about it in the future with you two together?
It continues to grow. We were the core of the team that felt this hurt last year and, added a bunch of guys around. So, chemistry and time spent, like I said earlier, is the best teacher.
Trying not to ask you the same thing here within regards to the details, but offensively, it seemed like stylistically you guys just couldn't find the right balance. What do you think that came down to in terms of movement was there some nights, movement wasn't there some nights? What do you think that came down to?
That's what you said. They play a bigger lineup and you try to play a faster paced game. They put McDaniels on me and on Brad and, harass you all the way down the court and try to funnel you to Rudy at the rim. So it's a great game plan.
You mentioned the three of you needing to be better, coach needing to be better. Do you feel like you guys had enough roster-wise to win with this group?
Yeah, roster-wise, everybody talks about the firepower, but, you look around the league, it comes down to the details. I don't want to keep saying that, but it's a super important thing. You can't just go out there and think you're going to win off talent. The game is more complicated than that.
What actually worked for Anthony Edwards tonight on their side of the ball, where you guys basically bottle him up, and those first, the second and third game, and of course tonight he just went off.
Yeah, I think there's a form of over-adjusting too. After game 2, I think we did a really good job with them, and went into game 3 and kind of got strung out. We were trying to trap him all over the place once he gets it going, but he's a great player, and if you're trying to put 2 on the ball so far away from the rim, he can usually get around the big or split the big and create an advantage on the backside.
Despite you guys not getting as far as you wanted to go, would you consider there's some consolation in nearly getting the 50 wins with this group, despite all that you went through this year?
No.
The communications that you're talking about, is it a top-down thing from the coaching staff to the players, or like as a group, could you communicate better as you three guys dealing with the rest of the team? What's the whole scope of that?
It was the names that I listed, starting with myself and KD, Brad, and Coach. Starts from the top, trickles down from there.
You guys put up a lot of fight, but what do you feel went wrong in that fourth quarter there?
They made more shots than us, made more plays. They hit tough shots too. Got to give them credit, man. They played a great series.
We were asking Book about when you look at the season as a whole, the ups and downs, the roller coaster, the injuries. He was pointing to the details as the reason why you guys weren't able to ultimately put it all together. What, in your mind, stands out on that front?
Yeah, we could be better in all areas. It's hard to pinpoint just one thing right now. I mean, when you reflect back on the season, I think that, like I've been saying, we just were inconsistent with our play and the style of play that we wanted. But that's as far as I'll go. I think guys will dig deep this summer, work on what they need to work on individually. Coaching staff going to try to make adjustments because we got stuff on film all season on who we could be as a team. So it's a great opportunity in the summertime to focus on your individual game, enjoy your time off, but also realize, come back and try to make some adjustments so we can't not go through this again.
When you look at this game, it was kind of the first of the series where you and Book both had it going in the same game. What do you feel kind of unlocked you guys tonight?
Yeah, just simplify the offense. I think we ran simple actions that got us going downhill. We spread the floor with 5 smalls as well, so that helped us. But that also compromises on the rebounding part. You know, we playing, I'm 6'9", we got 4 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guards on the floor with us. So it's, you know, it's tough to rebound, but I liked how we fought and we're physical all game.
Kevin, when you look at just the season as a whole, what, you know, when you look back on it, you like, okay, what bothers you, or what do you feel like could have been even better where you guys would still be playing right now?
Yeah, I won't provide context. Whenever I provide context, it'll be looked at as an excuse, so I'll just be better next year.
Just to follow that up, one of the things that you've talked before about is, you know, the consistency part, trying to find that throughout the year. At what point in the season do you feel like that was there, like when you go back and look at it?
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to make excuses for anything. We just got to be a better ball club moving forward.
And then the other thing, Devin was just saying that you three, you, Brad, him, and Coach, you know, this is a collective in trying to move forward and have this work next year. How you've been on teams where changes were made the year after. How big would that be to have everybody on in that front?
Yeah, continuity is important. All the great teams in the league thus far has been together for 2-3 years. Minnesota's, Denver's, Boston's, the Lakers, OKC's, like a lot of teams have been together for a few years, so I'm looking forward to building.
To follow up on Dwayne, so what Book said specifically was that the communications between all you guys need to be a lot better. And he specifically named himself, you, Beal, and Vogel. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, everything could be better.
What specifically, why was there?
I won't go into specifics because, I mean, that's stuff that we'll talk about. And like I said, I don't want to be up here making excuses for what happened. So we just deal with it, and we'll figure it out as a family moving forward.
Kevin, the off-season can kind of be a time to take a step back, just reflect. How are you looking to spend the off-season, kind of resetting mentally and also physically?
Yeah, just getting back to the gym, working on my game, enjoying my family, friends, and just enjoying my time off. But I think that's going to be short-lived because we got Olympics starting July 5th. Well, practices start July 5th, and we're going for a month after that, so I'm looking forward to that. But that's really what my summer is centered around, just the Olympic Games and making sure I'm right for those, and looking forward to that time.
Kevin, you've seen all sides of a season ending. When one ends like this with disappointment, just what are the keys over the summer in terms of the connectivity that you're mentioning to grow and find something for the future there?
Yeah, just get in the gym with one another, just continue to keep hanging out with one another, stay in constant communication, you know, just keep working.
Your dynamic with Book, just how has it grown over the course of this season and where you evaluated at right
Yeah,
now at the end of the year?
it's been steady, man. It's just been steady. You know, we've been building. We understand each other more and more. I feel like I know Book in and out and vice versa. So, yeah, we just keep building from there. Like I said, continuity is a major part of being a successful team, and rough times as well. A lot of teams that are successful right now have been through some rough times, so we just keep grinding.
Kevin, Ant was saying that he's looking forward to playing with you at the Olympics. What have you thought about his growth and the leap and his performance in this series?
So impressed with Ant. My favorite player to watch. Just grown so much since he came into the league at 22. Just his love for the game just shines bright, and that's something that's one of the reasons why I like him the most, because he just loves basketball. He's grateful to be in this position. He's taking advantage of every opportunity he's gotten. Love everything about Ant, everything, and be watching him going forward. And you know he's going to go out there and play extremely hard every single night. But was really impressed with him, and it's going to be somebody I'm following for the rest of his career.
Hi, Kevin. This is Xiaoxuan from Kuaishou China. First of all, I want to share the love and support from your fans in China. And we know this summer you're going to the Olympics, but it's been 5 years. Do you have any plans going to China really soon?
Yeah, I actually thought about it. We'll see. Appreciate all the love and support from everybody over there, and Can't wait to go back.
Thank you.
Kevin, in the last, I want to say 4 or 5 minutes, there were a couple plays where the connectivity, like it was a pass, you weren't looking, you didn't see Bill's pass coming, and almost led to the turnover. How much of that was part of tonight, where you play hard, you get loose balls, but then those things at the end cost you a game, or was it more to it than that?
Yeah, definitely more to it than that.
Okay.
Like I said, it's context involved in everything. But as a player, speak on the context, then it'll look like making an excuse. So like I said, we'll all be better, be more connected as we get to just knowing that we went through a season with one another. So I think we'll be better from this.
Is there anything how big was Grayson not being in those last 2 games? How huge is that?
Like I said, man, I'm not going, like, that's another excuse.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think, guys, this a next man mentality, next play mentality, next guy step up mentality league, you know? So we want Grayson healthy. I'm not saying that, but, like, the next guy's supposed to step up. And, you know, we would love to have Grayson out there, but I'm not about to sit up here and say that's the reason why we lost.
Kevin, Vicky Perez. My question is, I know you don't want to speculate on any of the negatives, but let's focus on the positive. What are some of the positive takeaways you have from the season?
Yeah, we stay healthy. I mean, we finished healthy. We had a few bumps and bruises throughout the season, but for the most part, we were healthy, and that's the main thing that I was concerned about. Me specifically, being able to play 75 games, I felt good again. Booked, 70 games, you know, and after missing a lot last year, missing the playoffs the year before that, a couple games in the playoffs the year before that, Brad was able to finish the season off after missing some time early on, so I was really excited about that, you know, just more time on the floor.
Obviously, you know how difficult it is to climb to the NBA mountaintop at this point in your career with all that you've accomplished and being healthy as you've been in seasons past. When you have a season end like this in a sweep, what's kind of the level of motivation going into next season?
For me? Individually? I live and breathe this shit, bro. Like, I have nothing else but, like, you know, at this point in my life, I got a lot of shit going on outside of basketball, but what I'm mainly focused on is ball, bro. So, like, yeah, I got motivation. I love to play. I'm going to come back next year, you know, ready to hoop, you know. So, yeah, I don't think you should question that.